All right. Y'all know the drill by now, ladies and gentlemen. Every single body in here.
Welcome to FIFA Fridays.
Now, as you guys can see, over the week, you know what I'm saying, I went and got me a little Caitlin Clark ball. I got one of the cheaper ones to start off with, nice little CC ball. Y'all can't really see the coloring. We're going to upgrade the productivity in here real soon. But I hope all you guys have had an amazing week. We have a lot to go over. Oh, my gosh. There's so much to go over. From Arike, from CBA drama, from CBA leaks, Team USA updates, Aaliyah Boston's health status upcoming. Oh my god, it's so much to go over. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're just gonna have to dive straight into it. If you are here, make sure you pull a chair up, grab your snacks, whatever you do, because we're gonna be diving into a lot tonight. So let's start off with the updates from the WNBA's latest CBA offer per Doug Feinberg. Hopefully I'm saying his last name correctly. So as you can see, it says no changes to revenue sharing model from the previous offer. It says salary cap would be 5.75 million, and that's increased from 1.5 million last year. Max salaries would increase by more than $1 million in the first year. Average salary increasing by 420,000. Players on rookie contracts who are first or second team all league become eligible to sign max contract in the fourth year. Now, that's something I wanted to highlight as well because, as you know, or maybe a lot of you guys don't know, Aaliyah Boston is actually due because of this CBA proposal right here. So if this would make Aaliyah Boston eligible to sign a max contract, Dwarf Clone coming in signing me to a max contract says the players should take the latest offer and prove that they are worth more. Pay raises come in steps, not jumps. They want to go from cashiers to store managers in one step. Dwarf Clone, I would actually say that you're being humble. You're being generous right now. Because I would argue that they're trying to go from cashiers to CEO. If you listen to the prices that they're asking for. It's actually crazy. Ramadan Mubarak to Muslim brother says, Rastamism, Ramadan Mubarak. What's up, Venom? New sub here. Loving your Jordan and NBA reactions. I appreciate you so much, Jelani. I will be diving back into it real soon. Actually, fun fact, I'll let you in on it. I'll let Twitch in on it. I'm actually waiting to see what the CBA is looking like, because if I have a WNBA season, then we can dive right back into the history stuff. If there will not be a CBA or a WNBA season this year, I'll just spend the off season diving into NBA history. So we'll see how it goes from there. But yeah, Aaliyah Boston, like we were saying, Aaliyah Boston will be eligible to sign a max contract. And you guys know Kelsey Mitchell is also due to sign a max contract as well. So it's a lot of conflicts going on over here, which is why I also wanted to speak about this. And I don't know if the ladies are talking about this. I haven't seen nobody offer this. But why aren't bird rights offered in the CBA? Why aren't bird rights a thing in the WNBA? See, everybody's so focused on the salary cap. Everybody just so money hungry, which is why I know, like, are y'all doing this for the sport or just for the money? Because bird rights should be one of the biggest priorities when you're looking at the hard cap of the salary. It's not a soft cap. This is a hard cap, meaning you have to have bird rights some way, somehow. And if you guys don't know what a bird right is, I'll just make it easier in English for you guys. It's basically when a player is on your team for consecutive seasons, I think 3 to be exact, you can go above the salary cap to pay that player. Like, for example, if Caitlin Clark was on the Fever for 3 years, or the Fever drafted her, and it's time to pay Caitlin Clark, but you can't go over the salary cap in other situations because you drafted Caitlin Clark, or because Caitlin Clark played on your team for at least 3 consecutive seasons, you can go over the salary cap. But the WNBA is hard cap. They've been hard cap, and I don't understand why is that the case, but it is what it is, right? If you want to get rid of super teams, okay, cool. Well, if you want to get rid of assembled super teams, okay, cool. But don't penalize teams for drafting players, having players on their roster for consecutive years, and not get any type of incentive for it. That kind of defeats the purpose of competitive basketball. You want to give rewards for teams who stuck through the mud, stuck with their players, and then they're not just trading all over the place, etc., etc. Anyways, chat, let's move on. We have a lot to go over today. So this is a nice little clip from Annie talking about Caitlin Clark and whether she should have been more vocal in WNBA CBA talks. I do agree with Annie Costabar right here. Listen to what she had to say.
How much obligation should Caitlin feel at this point from her peers and from her league to stand up and try and help move this thing forward?
So I get what you're saying in the sense of like Caitlin is the face of the league. She has power. When she speaks, people listen. That's very valid, but she's also a very calculated person when she does speak. And I think the people leading these negotiations are not necessarily asking that of her. And so if you're Caitlin, you know, is it your job to supersede player leadership? I don't think that is a tactic that seems like one Caitlin would ever take on.
How much?
I agree with that. I mean, for one, y'all know the saying in the WNBA is whenever they run into problems, they literally have a saying, call Caitlin Clark, Triple C. They literally have a Triple C slogan out here on the WNBA streets. Call Caitlin Clark. You heard the stud bud say it. I'm pretty sure somebody else said it. It's just, it's not coming to me right now. But yes, if you want Caitlin Clark's help, go and ring that phone up. Call Caitlin Clark and say, we need you in this room. And I'm pretty sure Caitlin Clark is not only going to prioritize just trying to get paid delusional money. She's going to prioritize putting a product forward that's going to bring the best product to the fans. She's not worried about, oh, we just need X amount of dollars. We need X amount of... No. Caitlin's like, listen, we just need a foundation, a platform. We just need security, right? We just need stability. We will handle the rest. Caitlin Clark knows her boom is not going anywhere. She knows her boom is here to stay. She's not panicking, which is why you heard her say we need to get out there. Paige Beckers is not panicking. This is why you heard Paige Beckers say we need to go out there and hoop. A lot of these girls, and you notice it's the younger girls that want to go out there and hoop because they know the future of the league is in good hands. It's the older players and the veterans who's trying to make a bag on their way out and trying to get the veterans who's retired a bag. Like, I don't understand what's going on. You got Breanna Stewart, Kelsey Plum. We're going to get into all of that as well, where they got some type of leaks going on, where they disagree. They're not even informed that what's going on. It's so much going on, chat. But we're going to move on. Let's get straight into all of this, man. Moving on, as you can see right here, breaking news, Alexa Philippou says on March 3rd, Kelsey Plum and Breanna Stewart wrote a letter acquired by ESPN to WNBPA Executive Director Terry Jackson, who is not a player, that expresses, quote, serious concerns about how the PA is handling the current negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement. So, guys, if it wasn't interesting enough already, it just got hella more interesting. Kelsey Plum and Breanna Stewart are not even informed that what's going on. They're having serious concerns about how the PA is handling the current negotiations. This kind of surprised me. I'm not gonna lie, because Breanna Stewart is a co-founder of Unrivaled. So I was very shocked to find out that she's not even at the tables for real. She's not even informed of what's going on. All these players consistently talk about, oh, we're fighting, but y'all are fighting different battles. That's what it seems like. Who's on the same page? You're writing letters to executive directors, but you're not talking to the player. Like you're going above their head. I thought you get what I'm saying, chat? Like, if we're all family, why am I going above your head about how you're handling it? Shouldn't I just talk to you? I'm telling you guys right now, from what it looks like from the outside looking in, it looks like this is a cult. It looks like you cannot speak up for your own. You cannot speak up. You can't. From the rookies to the veterans, you can't speak up without looking like you're going against the grain, chat. You can't. And it's actually embarrassing. I'm not going to lie. It is embarrassing. You see this comment right here. This has to be a strategic leak by Plum and Stewart. It was a strategic leak, a very strategic leak. And we'll get into it as well. Over the week, guys, from last Friday to this Friday, I have learned so much about the players, and I'm getting secondhand embarrassment for them. Because Kelsey Plum and Breanna Stewart is not on the same page with the union. Sophie Cunningham went on record showing she doesn't have a clue of how gross/net revenue works. Like, we'll get into everything, chat. I promise. We'll get into it all. Let's move on. This is the quote from it as well. WNBPA Vice Presidents Breanna Stewart, Kelsey Plum, in a letter to Players Union Executive Director Terry Jackson. She says, we do not feel like the players have an adequate seat at the table in these CBA negotiations. Like, chat, actually read this and tell me with a straight face that you still believe the players are fighting fairly. You still think the players are negotiating for? They're not even being transparent within themselves. How do you expect the fans and the owners to understand what they are talking about if they're not even being transparent with? So go back to 2 weeks ago, chat, or a week ago, when Breonna Stewart told Paige Beckers, AZ Fudd, right? If I'm not mistaken, told AZ Fudd, we're fighting for you. We're making sure we're doing all of this for you guys. We're trying to make sure you guys are paid. Go back to all those type of chat. I'm telling you, read between the lines. These girls, you know what? Like, we're gonna sound like a broken record. We've been talking about, guys. Y'all remember months ago, from 2025. What did I say, chat? I was on the owner's side because I seen it from day one what this looked like. These guys, I seen the vision. Now everybody, you see, when I first came out and said, listen, I'm with the owners, because I could see that these girls are clearly being delusional about it, right? They're not compromising. The owners are compromising. And the owners, from even when I said that, the owners continued compromising up to right now. The owner said, no more compromising. You're going to have to meet us some way, somehow over here. Do you guys remember all the flag I was catching for that? Now, fast forward to now, 90% of the fans are on the owner side. Like, whoa. Listen. It's kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying? It is kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying? At first I'm crazy and then I'm right. Familiar territory. You got a statement from the WNBPA Executive Committee, though, and let's read all of this in its entirety. In every CBA negotiation, the goal of the league and teams is to divide the players. Can you believe them? These negotiations are no different. We remain united and focused on delivering a transformational CBA for all members of this union and are committed to negotiating for as long as it takes. Our union's nearly unanimous vote in December to authorize us to call a strike, if and when necessary, was not taken lightly. It was made with complete faith and trust in ourselves and our negotiating committee, led by Executive Director Terry Carmichael Jackson and President Aneka Ogwumike, to represent all players as we work to build a W that truly puts players first. Nothing has changed. That decision and the results of our recent player survey reaffirm that the current league proposal is not worth taking. Despite our differences and tough moments, we must make crystal clear that we are focused, we are resolute, and we are together. We want to play basketball in 2026. We want to be in front of our fans playing the game that we love. We will not stop fighting. There is no WNBA without the players. So, as you can see, these players, I don't even know who's right. Like, can somebody put a signature? Like, this is another thing I need. Like, I need somebody to put a signature. You can't just put out these statements. Like, who typed this up? Who co-signed this message? Was it all of these players right here at the bottom? Like, I need answers, chat. I need answers. But anyways, this is clear cap. You know, you read this and you talk about the goal of the league and teams is to divide the players. What would they gain out of that? What would they gain out of dividing where would they gain? It is what it is. They said the union's nearly unanimous vote in December to authorize them to call a strike if and when necessary was not taken lightly. That's not a threat. It's an empty threat. You're literally just gonna be shooting yourself in the foot. Listen, chat. That vote was unanimous in my opinion because they didn't think that a strike would actually be put into action. Which is why you hear Paige Beckers, you know, shying away saying we need to play basketball. It's why Caitlin Clark since day one said we need to play basketball. It's why Breonna Stewart and Kelsey Plum is now writing a 3-page letter to the executive director saying that she doesn't feel like the Players Association is handling this, you know, professionally, etc., etc. We can see straight through it. You guys are not on the same page. We know what the hell is going on, but it is what it is, right? Let's move on, chat. Breonna Stewart on record says, let's just listen to this right here. On the WNBA CBA talk, she said that the WNBA players don't want to strike, but if the league doesn't give them a choice, they will strike. Let's listen to this.
The strike is definitely on the table because, you know, we're negotiating for the best deal possible. And as everybody knows, we have approved have the strike authorization vote ready. So that leverage isn't going away. Do we want to do it? No, we don't. But if we have to, we will. The strike is definitely on the table.
So she said we don't want to do it, but if we have to, we will. Chat, I'm trying to bear with them, right? You know what I'm saying? Jokic on LeBron with the 2 said that the drama unironically helped WNBA get views. I don't even know at this point, man. Like, I don't know if attacking players is this considered drama? Because this is not going to get the WNBA views. Instead, this is actually going to hurt the WNBA. So yes, this does not help the WNBA get views. I feel players should get a part of the money. The league gets when teams buy into the league. So there's something called expenses, right? There's gross revenue and then there's net revenue. The players want a percentage of the gross revenue. They're not focusing on the net revenue. To get to the net revenue, you have to subtract from what you had to cover from the gross revenue, meaning expenses, travel costs, reimburse, expansion. All of those are factored in, chat. You know what I'm saying? Listen to Adrian Ross show, English teacher, break it down. What is English teacher? So just the 8 million and the 9.2 million, that's 110,000 per player. Wait, what you mean? What you mean that's 110,000 per player? I know, and they also should be ringing up the fact that they receive 17.25 million in revenue shares, but they're only giving that, or they're only giving the players 8 million of that. Wait, let me read that one more time. I know. And they also should be ringing up the fact that they received 17.25 million in revenue shares, but they've only given the players 8 million. Well, one thing for sure you got to understand as well. Listen, I don't want to continue to just be owner, but when you look at everything, there's investors. The WNBA don't even fully own the league. Like, I'm telling y'all, look at everything. Look at the WNBA doesn't fully own the league, right? There's investors, right? Investors who invested when the league was failing, right? They didn't just invest to throw money in the water. No, they invested to get a return, right? So you have to look at who been keeping the lights on like that. What happened to, that's when morals come in and et cetera, et cetera. A lot of people don't have that, but it is what it is. I think at least half of the 85% are being bullied into it. I mean, I'm 100%, well, I'm 99.9% sure that the players are being bullied into it. I'm 99.9% sure the players are being bullied. Like, look at them writing a letter. This is Kelsey Plum and Breanna Stewart, two players who have been in the league long enough, well-respected players in the league, but they have to write letters. You know what I'm saying, chat? Like make it make sense, chat. Make it make sense. Anyways, let's move on, chat. An exchange from threads with Alicia Clark. Hey, Callie. Hold on, let's start from the top. So reading/watching everything that came out of Unrivaled Media today, it sounds like a strike is essentially off the table for WNBA players in the CBA negotiation. Then Alicia Clark steps in and says, hey, Callie, this is not accurate. A strike is very much still on the table. Callie says, hi, AC. I think this is super important for fans to see. Definitely was not asserting this as fact. Was just relaying the sense I got as someone who is not at Unrivaled and taking in all the headlines/interviews just like everyone else. So Alicia Clark is basically not, like they don't want to make it seem like, oh, they're calling out bluff. You notice that's what the players keep going back to, strike. That's the only leverage you have. And it's an empty threat because you can get shut out. Like, let's not forget, the league can literally shut these players out if they want to today. They can shut them out today. Shut it down, lock these girls out, leave them unemployed, tell them go start. And Alicia Clark says, no worries. I know how you report, so I was just wanting to add some clarity for you. Players expressing personal opinion on not loving the idea of a strike versus it being taken off the table are very different. I know some of the other interviews I've watched also said we prepared and have been preparing should one be called. Appreciate you always. So it is what it is. Alicia Clark, I think they just bluffing. I don't think they're actually gonna strike, and if they do strike, I genuinely do believe this, chat. This take might age well or might age bad, but hear me out, chat. I think Unrivaled might genuinely launch a 5v5. I think the reason for all of this is, like, despite the 4 times pay increase, salary jump, all that, etc., I think the real reason for all of this is because Unrivaled is planning to launch a 5v5. They think that, listen, I'm telling you, I think that they're trying to launch a 5v5. They're going to shut the league down. It's just so Unrivaled can launch a 5v5 event. Anyways, let's listen to Breanna Stewart provide some context on players being told at least 2 years ago to save some money for this negotiation. Tell me this is not a crazy clip right here, chat.
Players were told at least 2 years ago to save up for the potential of this year. So I hear you and Kelsey are both saying, like, you don't want to strike, but is that still something you guys are prepared to do if needed, since players were told to save up for this time?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we have, like,
that's Terry basically saying and reminding players of really being smart with your money, because while we are fighting for what we want, we might not get that, and if we don't get that, and then what? So I think that having the idea of saving your money, having the one team partnerships, that distribution coming in, having the rev share from the previous CBA coming in, like that makes people feel a little bit better, but at the same time, it's like
Spit it out.
It's gonna be a loss.
Yeah, Breonna Stewart, once again, like, oh my God, it's gonna give me a headache trying to like wrap my mind about what they're actually saying. So one more time, let's just run the first 20 seconds real back. Listen to this part.
To save up for the potential of this year. So I hear you and Kelsey are both saying like you don't want to strike, but is that still something you guys are prepared to do? If
Just listen to this.
Players were told to save up for this time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we have like that's Terry basically saying and reminding players of really being smart with your money, because while we are
Being smart with your money. What about the girls who don't have the money yet, Stewie? Didn't you just tell AZ Fudd we're doing this for you? AZ Fudd is gonna be unemployed. What you gonna do? Unrivaled? Like, what you gonna do? Are you gonna tell her go to Project B overseas? Like, what are we doing, chat? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What are we doing? What are we talking about? You have been in the league for countless years. There are players coming in who has more impact than you ever had. But you're telling them you're fighting for them. They should be fighting for you. That's the first thing, right? They should be fighting for you. Yes, you're more established, you're more accomplished than these younger players, but you're going for money, and the money is being offered to the younger generation right now. I'm sorry to let you know the hard and blunt truth, but this is where you at right now, you know?
fighting for what we want, we might not get that, and if we don't get that, and then what? So I think that having the idea of saving your money, having the one team partnerships, that distribution coming in, having
That's
the
crazy.
rev share from the previous CBA coming in.
I'm gonna be real with y'all. That's actually crazy. And I seen a comment right here. This is what I spoke about a couple weeks ago. If you guys remember, I think it was last month or 2 months ago. TNT opts by year 3 in Unrivaled. No way they can do 5v5. Now that can also be true, but you never know with all these people. You never know. You never know. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say is this, chat. I did call out that the TV deals for Unrivaled will fall out. I think Unrivaled, I think TNT and all these companies know that Caitlin Clark will not be playing in Unrivaled. She hasn't given one sign that she'll play in Unrivaled. And that's enough for these TV companies to say, yeah, we're probably going to sit this one out. And we'll come after. If Caitlin Clark does end up playing, then maybe you can give us a last-second call. It's kind of like the Team USA thing, which we'll get into as well. They're officially going to be on TV as well. Like the Caitlin Clark, wherever she is, a TV deal will follow. When you want to talk about the common denominator, Caitlin Clark literally follows. It's so funny because when you Google the word common denominator, the word fever even gets demonstrated in the denominator. Hopefully I spelled it right. The word fever is actually in the definition, right? So common denominator, shared multiple of denominators of several fractions, a feature shared by all members of a group. The common denominator for the fevers was the bite of a tick. Like, that's actually funny that the fever is mentioned when you look up the definition of common denominator. Caitlin Clark is the common denominator of all these TV deals involved in women's basketball. Despite people who want to, shrug it off. You can look at Unrivaled ratings and you can look at ratings with Caitlin Clark involved, and it's a complete night and day difference, Dwarf Clone with the membership. Appreciate you. Dwarf says, Brianna apparently doesn't know the difference between what you want and what you can get. Exactly. When she said that, I was thinking of like when you tell a kid you get what you get and you don't get upset. I didn't want to be the one to say it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Milan, I just spoke about it. I'll react to the history depending on what this off season looks like, if we get a season or not. TNT will cover Bob Ross painting before it does another season of Unrivaled. Oh my gosh. Let's move on, chat. So, Sophie Cunningham with a very stunning clip. This clip right here actually stunned me. I didn't know what to say. I couldn't believe that Sophie Cunningham said the things that she said, and Mick actually pointed this out. But let's listen to what Sophie Cunningham said.
We've got a lot to get into. On the last CBA, the league actually came back to us last night at 10 p.m. Nothing happened with the revenue share. And that is the whole thing what we're fighting for. They go and they change our salary cap, but only like half a percentage. Like they give us like 50 to 100,000 more dollars, which is like
for individual players, or that's for teams?
Teams. So it's like, oh, well, you're getting more money there. But it's like, no.
Salary cap doesn't necessarily mean it will even affect you directly.
No, someone else could get
Right. That fully has nothing to do with you as like a player.
So if you don't know the goal of like these co-hosts, et cetera, he's supposed to act oblivious, like he's never spoken off podcast to Sophie Cunningham about these kind of things. So when they get on the podcast, he can act oblivious, like, oh, so they don't do this, and she's like, no, like it's like she's, you know, they're basically demonstrating a fake lesson together. Like look at how he's trying to sound so uneducated about what he's talking about. Like as if they've never spoke about this before. Look at the questions he's asking.
With the revenue share. And that is the whole thing what we're fighting for. They go and they change
See right through
our
it.
salary cap, but only like half a percentage. Like they give us like
So
50 to
he's like,
100,000
for
more
players?
dollars, which is like
For individual players, or that's for teams?
He's like, for individual players or teams? You know it's for the teams. I'm pretty sure she told you this, right?
teams. So it's like, oh, well, you're getting more money there. But it's like, no.
Salary cap doesn't necessarily mean it will even affect you directly.
No, someone else could get
Right. That fully has nothing to do with you as like
makes-
a player.
No, and it makes literally no sense. And so they keep coming back and changing literally like half percentages
Yeah.
of things we're not even asking.
Do you think it's like a smokescreen to be like, hey, we're giving you this. Meanwhile, we're like not actually changing stuff that matters?
Yeah, I think like they won't even talk about revenue share, but that is our whole fight is revenue share. If you're the league and I'm the player and you buy my jersey in the NBA, if you're paying $100, the league gets $50, I get $50.
Okay.
Right now in the W, it's like the league gets $97, $98 and I get $2.
So when I bought your fucking jersey that all went to Kathy,
And that's what I'm saying. They want 10 plus more games outside of playoffs. And
Can't
like,
believe this.
Then you got to pour into your product even more. But I'm telling you, they are trying to throw money at anything and everything and change half percentages, saying they moved and saying that they're listening to us. Yet our biggest thing that they haven't even touched on is revenue share whatsoever. And it's like revenue share is like the main thing that we need you to touch on and you're not doing it.
I mean, you look at history, they kind of like literally never did it. So I don't know if you expected like, oh no, this year is gonna be the year they do it. They've literally never done it. So what makes you think? What thought even went into your mind to like you know what? Let's look at this chat. Let's look at this real quick. This part right
If you're
here.
paying $100, the league gets $50, I get $50.
So if you pay $100 for her jersey, the league gets $50, she gets $50. I cannot believe that's her thought process. I cannot believe that Sophie Cunningham, a professional WNBA player, is not capable of comprehending, or she doesn't understand that there's something called licensing deals. There's something called licensing, right? The WNBA quite literally gives, sells the player's license to Nike, and other companies, et cetera, et cetera. Moral of the point is that's where the money is coming from. It's not individually like you pay money, it goes straight to Cappy's. That's not how it works. And that's not how it works in any league that I know. It's not how it works in the NBA. It's not how it works in the WNBA. And I'm pretty sure that's not how it works in any top league. It doesn't go straight from consumer to the to like it. I don't know, man. But if that's like, look, Mick posted about it, and Mick said, Sophie Cunningham just said with a 50% gross revenue split, if a jersey sells for 100, the league makes 50 and the player makes 50. He says, if this is the prevailing understanding of gross revenue by the players, I would be very, very concerned. And then he continues to add, if this is the type of nonsense being fed to the players, no wonder they think the league is hiding money. Like, it's actually crazy that this is what they think, man. Like, I don't even think we should dive into detail about this, I don't understand. This last year was the first time they triggered the revenue share because they haven't made enough revenue. For one, I don't even know why that's being I've said it a million times, chat. I don't know. But listen, don't listen to me. Let's listen to Charles Barkley sharing his thoughts on the CBA negotiations.
Yeah, they need to be very careful. They're walking on thin ice right now, Susie. Number one, I wish those ladies luck. I want them to get paid as much as possible. I wish them nothing but the best. But let me tell you something. I had Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson.
3 players who I just dived into, by the way. Great players.
I've had some of the greatest players ever, and we went on strike. Listen, you got to be careful of trying to figure out I know they're doing some great things, but you can't overplay your hand. like I say, I want those ladies to make as much money as possible. And I don't want to be one of those fools get on TV and say, I don't know their financial workings. I don't know how all their stuff working. But I will tell you this, as a league that had Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, and 100 great players, I think we went on strike 3 times. So
What
this
happened?
notion, just because you got power and talent, these billionaire owners just going to give you everything you want. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So I wish those ladies great success. I hope they get paid what they deserve. But you can overplay your hand. Like I say, in the NBA, we're like, nah, we're not going to go on strike. They need us. And I'm like, then I know you know what I was doing, Sue? Sitting my black ass at home, unemployed. These guys, like, I remember sitting in those meetings. They're like, no, they're not going to strike. They're not. No, we too important. Blah blah blah. When the season started, I was sitting at home playing damn tiddlywinks, and I want to tell the women, like I say, I wish they get as much money as possible. I wish them nothing but the best. But you have to really be careful overplaying your hand.
Absolutely.
Because, listen, one thing about people who make money, they're never going to be billionaires. Billionaires always have the upper hand on millionaires, okay?
100%.
No matter how many millions you got, you're not a billionaire. So you always have to be careful overplaying your hand. What you do is you try to make the best deal possible in the moment and keep growing and make it that things like that. But you have to be careful overplaying your hand.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, listen, and that's not where he ended it off right there. He even went on to continue.
And go on strike. A bunch of those star players could go to Unrivaled and they could start their own league. So that's actually a point I'm making.
But that's the thing, though. They go to Unrivaled and they start their own league. How long will that last? Chat, like, follow me from I've been breaking this down for a minute now, right? Like, launching those player pods. Like, yo, they really feeding these girls these delusional takes, and it's like they really eating it up. Stop falling for the hezzy. If you're a WNBA player, stop falling for the hezzy, please. The NBA kept the WNBA lights on for how long when y'all was failing? It's like all of that just went out the window. Y'all not even grateful for that. Y'all are trying to fight and y'all ready to shut down now for all that. They should have shut y'all down when y'all was failing. Like, imagine the league just shutting y'all down when y'all was trying to hoop, when y'all was grinding as little kids and teenagers and money ain't mean a thing. You just wanted to be a WNBA player. Imagine the owners going in with that mindset. The older past few CBAs when they knew they would be operating in the red, but they still kept the lights on for y'all. So stop being ungrateful and let this league progress. The fans are here. We're here now. We ain't here to watch all this bicker going back and forth. We trying to watch hoops. We trying to watch who gonna be the next champion. We looking for the Paige versus Caitlyn, the Ages and Alyssa Thomases, like even we here for those rivalries. Angel Reese's, like we here for all of that. But you are at risk of ruining everything. You're going to ruin everything in the future if you stop this right now. The fans are not guaranteed. They haven't seen enough to be here and waiting like, oh, yeah, we'll be here next year. No, a lot of this isn't guaranteed. So you don't take advantage of what's in front of you right now. It's cooked. It's cooked.
There's no
Unrivaled is a hezzy. The player pods is a hezzy. Like all this stuff is temporary. It's temporary. TV deals are going to fall out. Who's going to keep Unrivaled lights on then? Do you think the investors are going to still? They're not the WNBA. They're not. No, that's not how it works. Adam Silver could keep the WNBA lights on. Who's going to keep Unrivaled lights on? So that's why the players are panicking right now because they want to get this done as soon as possible. They signed them TV deals at the wrong time because it was like, 2 years guaranteed? And then the third year's where they renegotiate, et cetera, et cetera. Caitlin Clark is not coming back. Those TV deals will fall out. The Unrivaled players notice. Stewie notice. Fee notice. You know what? It is what it is. Let's listen to Charles.
Because you got to understand one thing about these negotiations, and I've been in these negotiations. The stars aren't the same with the regular players. Let's get that out the way. The stars are the one who drive the league, but most of the rank and file are regular good players. If the WNBA went on strike and all this Asia, Nafisa's already down there, Caitlin, all those girls went to Unrivaled, they could start their own league which they own equity and make 3 times part of the money they're making now. Now that would screw something. Screw all the other players in the WNBA, but you have to understand something. And like I say, I've been in these negotiations. Everybody's not on the same playing field. The stars are up here.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's some all-stars like right here.
Mm-hmm.
But the majority of players in sports are on the bottom rung. That's not an insult. That's just a fact. Most of the players in all sports are on the bottom rung. They're not up there with the superstars or the guys who are great players. Most of those guys, and I'm going to use this, and it's not insult, most of those guys are special teams players in all sports.
Yep.
And that's no disrespect, but to think that we're all on the same level playing field when it comes to salaries, endorsements, and things, we're 100% wrong.
I mean, listen, it is what it is, Charles. It is what it is. Let's listen to this statement from the WNBA. If you guys don't know, we read this first part of the statement. Let's look at this poll. So the WNBPA came out with a survey on league proposal. They tried to damage control after the letter and everything else came out, right? They tried to do some damage control and make it seem like all the players are on the same page. So they came out with a survey, and the survey said, would you accept the league's proposal of 50% net revenue, which is less than 15% of gross revenue, in an 8-year deal, or ask the union to keep negotiating? 84% said no, I would not accept 15% and want the union to keep negotiating. Now, what they left out was this. How many players did you ask? And what players did you ask? You see, this is where it's like it gets cherry picked. Did you cherry pick 25 players to ask this question? Did you cherry pick 50 players to ask this question? And you know, like, why didn't you ask this question earlier, a year ago? Why are you asking these questions now? You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, chat. I think that the WNBPA cherry picked 25 players. I even broke it down and I went and looked at the math. So I said I looked up all the possible combinations of people you'd have to ask in a league of 144 players to get 84% of the players saying no. And the lowest amount that I came up with was 25. So I said it's possible they cherry pick 25 players they know aren't on board with the CBA to answer the question, and 21 of that 25 said no. I said I still believe majority of players and incoming rookies who can't answer because they're ineligible waiting for a draft wants to play basketball, meaning the AZ Fuzz, you know, the Sarah Strongs, all these players coming into the league, Juju, they want to play basketball. They're not even eligible to answer these type of surveys. So why would you post this survey knowing what we know already? The Breanna Stewart, Kelsey Plum thing, that wasn't a rumor. That wasn't a facade. That was actual. That was a fact. That was a real leak. So no matter what survey you come out with saying, it's clear that a lot of these top players are not in the know. You're not including them in the know, and that's sad. And the other 4 combinations were 50 voters, 42 said no, 75 voters, 63 would say no, 100 voters, 84 would say no, and 125 voters, 105 said no. I'm going to lean towards the first one I said. I think it's 25 players they asked, and 21 said no. Let's listen to Natasha Cloud once again. I'm sorry that we got to continue pulling her up, but she can't, I got to continue to pull her up and show how she continuously makes a fool out of herself. She said, we are still not making enough. Let's listen to Natasha Cloud respond to the WNBA's new CBA proposal and brings up her issue with housing potentially being taken away. Let's listen to this.
Are still not making enough. That middleman potentially still not making enough for housing to also be taken off of the table. You all know this New York market. that $200,000 jump that players are going to make, that's before taxes. That's before what they would have to pay for a potential housing market in the state of New York. So I still am focused on our middleman. Again, I think it's a starting point. I'm happy with them finally coming back to us with a proposal, but I think there's a lot more that we can do to protect our middleman, even with our jump of salary.
So one thing for sure and 2 things for certain. Who even told you was coming back to New York? We don't even want you in my city. Yeah, we don't even want you here for real. Like, I have never seen a Natasha Cloud jersey in my life. I don't even know what number she wears. I almost forgot she played for New York. We don't want Natasha Cloud in our city. Like, I was speaking for we don't want Natasha Cloud in our city. I don't know what she got going on. She's clearly uneducated. She don't know what the hell she's talking about. talking about y'all know the New York market. Like Natasha, listen, man, we ain't even here for all that, you know. But anyways, we got Caitlin Clark, the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup page posted Caitlin Clark 7 hours ago saying Caitlin Clark back in USA Threads very soon. I didn't watch this. I wanted to watch this live together. Let's bring some positivity back and watch some CC
asking
hoops
for the clear out. She wants
in
the
the
one-on-one on
U19
Melbourne.
World Cup.
Takes the one-on-one.
See, these listen, I want to break this down a little bit because I want this is where Caitlin Clark has to take the next level. You know, Caitlin Clark, I'm a huge fan of Caitlin Clark, who she is today, but I know Caitlin Clark is nowhere near where she will be in the next 5 years, 5 to 10, right?
Asking
Little
for the
stuff like
clear
this.
out. She wants the one-on-one on Melbourne.
Like, look, going to her left hand. I want Caitlin to start finishing with her left hand. She has to get strong with that left hand finish. Develop a touch with that left hand. It prevents other players from getting, you know, sometimes you could do it inside when you're trying to get away from a defender, but right here in this situation,
takes the
a left-hand
one-on-one
layup
and
is ideal.
finishes with the right hand.
You know?
That was a great isolation for games for that club, so plenty of experience.
Oh, Caitlin.
Clark again.
Look at CC, man. Oh, my God. Look at the score. Caitlin.
Like that, so 3 attempts. It's good. Bringing it up left side on the fast
Oh,
break.
man.
Let's
Look
slow
at
down a
AZ
little bit.
to Caitlin.
Out,
AZ to
Clark.
C20. Caitlin, good pass.
A great dish to
She always had it.
Power with it.
She got to make her
Yeah.
left hand layup, too.
3.
CC. Beautiful. Oh, my gosh. What a pass. Who was that she just passed it to? She's always been a good passer, just probing, just staying still, waiting, watching. Sees the backdoor dive from the weak side, throws a lob pass. And what an athletic finish. Oh my God, oh, CC with the block. CC coming from the weak side, okay. I didn't know CC was out there spear blocking like that. See how helps out spear blocking. Oh my gosh, threading the needle. She's always been insane, huh? She's just always been like that. That was Sonia Citron that she threw a lob to. That was crazy. Does she have a Larry Bird left hand game? I call that game Lefty Larry, man. That was a crazy 27 points with your left hand is actually sick. Larry Bird is a legend, man. If you guys didn't know, Arike Ogunbowale was arrested. Yeah. So, statement via the Dallas Wings. The Wings are aware of an incident involving Arike Ogunbowale and are in the process of gathering more information. Further comments will be provided once we have more details. So, they had more details, and she posted, according to Miami-Dade County records, Arike Ogunbowale was arrested and charged with a misdemeanor battery on Thursday following the unrivaled championship game at a Miami nightclub.
Good, man.
Damn. Yeah, punched a security guard trying to escort her out the club. She punched a security guard. That's crazy. I got my Caitlin Clark fix with that 1 minute of highlights. I did too, low key. I did too. That felt good to watch. I don't remember the last time I see Caitlin Clark in a game. What else we got though? Caitlin jerseys are now part of the bandwagon collection in Dallas. Look at this, man. In Dallas, Caitlin is a part of the bandwagon collection. I don't even see no other WNBA players. Literally, Caitlin Clark jersey among NBA baseball players, etc., etc. This might be, I think, yeah, Washington Commanders. Like, I don't see no WNBA jersey. That's actually crazy, man. Caitlin Clark influence once again. So, this is bad news for Fever fans. Fever center Aaliyah Boston will no longer play on the U.S. World Cup qualifying team for games in San Juan due to an injury suffered at Unrivaled. And this was my other issue with Unrivaled. So now I can't watch my center of my team play in Team USA hoops with her point guard and develop more chemistry because she was injured in a third-party league that is in competition with the main league. That's another conflict of interest. How are we going to pay you this amount of dollars if you can get injured and be out for the full season? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. There should be some type of exclusivity in this deal. Like, you're getting paid way more now where you don't have to go overseas, etc., etc., right? It's crazy though, chat. Not only bad injury, but now Amber Cox will bring back overpay and start Howard. Oh no, hell no. Yeah, I would crash out if that ever happened. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, chat. Scott Agnes posted, just in, TNT Sports has acquired the U.S. rights for the FIBA World Cup, and it will air all 5 women's basketball games from the qualifying tournament in San Juan, March 11th to the 17th. So do you guys want me to live stream all these games? Let me know, chat. Do you guys want me to live stream all these games? Let me know. Hello, Venom and Venomite. Sorry I'm late. I hope y'all all doing well and staying safe in this weather. Blessings to all. Appreciate you so much, Michael. But yeah, chat, this is actually insane. I think I might live stream all of these games. We'll see. Yes. All right, perfect. The first game will be March 11th in 5 days. So we're gonna see CC hoop against, my home place, Senegal. That's gonna be very funny. I don't know nobody over there though, but it is gonna be hard to root against your own home team. Let's move on though. What else we got that we didn't see? In the gym with Caitlin Clark. And I don't know if I've spoke about this on Fever Fridays, but I did want it to be clear that I don't want no Caitlin Clark footage, chat. Am I alone in that department where I don't want to see Caitlin Clark film no more? I want to just wait for the season to start. I don't need no players getting added motivation, no fuel, players going out their way to trying to hurt CC. I don't need players trying to study her moves. We know this is the face. We know all the players study her and watching everything she does. I just want them to leave the evil eye off of Caitlin Clark. Just leave her alone. Let her work out. Let her add to her bag. When the season starts, let us all be shocked and surprised at how much she added to her bag. Like, I don't need no more, oh, Caitlin Clark is doing this. She's locked in the lab for, nah. They posted stationary shooting of Caitlin Clark, but it is what it is. TNT Sports is the new home for FIBA basketball. Look at this, though, chat. TNT picked up USA games because Caitlin Clark is there. I don't know if you guys know, but it was uproar on the internet, specifically Twitter, when they found out that the USA games wasn't being streamed on TV, and TNT Sports stepped in and said, hold on, we're here. We'll cover Caitlin Clark. Don't worry about it. Like I said, the common denominator is Caitlin Clark. I had somebody in my comments say, how do you know this is because of Caitlin Clark? Your stand-up is affecting your reality. And I was like, nah, just the common denominator is actually showing me that, hey, every time Caitlin Clark is playing a basketball game, the TV companies are just swallowing it up. So clearly there's some type of common denominator over there, right? Moving on. Yeah, agree. We need the debut game. Exactly, right? I agree. Keep her workouts private. Let's move on, though. All WNBA first and second team players who are still on rookie deals will become eligible to sign a max contract in their 4th year and would not be eligible for the core following that extension. A player on a rookie deal that earns MVP could also be eligible for the Supermax plus no core. Man, let's move on, chat. How they gonna pay Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell? That's another thing that I want to know. Like I said, chat, Kelsey needs to take a pay cut, or I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I love her scoring, but if she can't take a pay cut, she gotta find another team to play for. I'm sorry, y'all know me. First I'm crazy, and then I end up being right. With the way the salary cap is structured, you can't pay Kelsey Mitchell, pay Aaliyah Boston, and still have to pay Caitlin Clark, and somehow still keep depth around that big three. It's looking like the direction of the league is going to be Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston. You're going to have those insane role players like Lexi Hull, Sophie Cunningham, etc., etc. Azurá Stevens wants to make her entrance to Indiana. As you've seen, she's over there in the comments flirting, talking about she heard nice things about Indy, etc., etc. But let's move on. We got Clutch Points posting a podcast clip where they're talking about Caitlin Clark's impact. Let's listen to this little bit right here.
Where are we putting Caitlin Clark?
Oh, she like 3. So she like, yeah, she top 3.
Where are we putting
She
Caitlin
might be
Clark?
2. No, she's 1.
Oh.
She's 1.
Oof.
Damn, that
Well,
quick.
One.
Caitlin
Clark, the most influential white athlete in all of history. Shady McCoy.
You see how he just tried to throw in most influential white athlete in there? Like, bruh, why is it skin color? Like, why is skin colors brought into sports? Like, I don't even like this Emmanuel Achu guy.
Damn,
man.
that quick.
Caitlin Clark, the most influential white athlete in all of history. Shady McCoy.
It ain't gotta be white.
Caitlin Clark up there, bro.
She is the most influential women's athlete of all time. Bro,
Cut it out.
Bro.
Cut it out. Ali, cut the lights off.
Hold on.
Ali, this joint right
Hold
now.
on. Yo, can I back?
What you not going
At first you're crazy, and then you're right.
Do is disrespect Serena Williams. Yeah, you not gonna disrespect Serena Williams.
Let me back myself
Please,
up.
Did Serena
Put it in
popularize
reverse.
tennis
Put
as
it in
much as
reverse,
Caitlin Clark
Terry.
did?
Let him go.
Yo.
Let him
Real
cook.
talk.
Please cook.
All right.
Because I don't know what that was.
I think Serena was great for us.
She was.
great.
Greatest.
Who was watching women's basketball?
Exactly.
Think about what we're talking about, though.
Nobody, baby.
Yo, you wasn't. You wasn't. He wasn't. Nobody's watching girls basketball. And then we get this girl like Steph Curry. Everybody watching. To this day. Women's basketball is looked at like the NBA, like the NFL. They got their own channels now on ESPN. We talk about them on. When was you ever at the last time you heard people just talk about women's basketball on TV? Like a real block. Now you see, there's blocks where they're going to talk about Luka and they're going to talk about Caitlin Clark.
True.
Hey,
think about it. I like
Shady's
this point. Last point.
Cook
the
too
girl
far.
that
So listen to how quick Emmanuel's like. This is Emmanuel right here. Look at how quick his demeanor changed. So now he's like this, right?
True.
hey.
think about it. I like
Shady's
this point.
point.
Last point.
I like this point, but when you rewind to right here, you hear. Look at how he jumps out his seat when he says, "Caitlin, listen to this." Right?
History, Shady McCoy.
It only got to be white.
Caitlin Clark up there, bro.
She is the most influential women's athlete of all time. Bro, cut it out.
Look at
Cut it
this.
out. Ali J. Cut the lights off.
It went from that. It went from that to this.
True.
Hey,
Think about it. I like
Shady's
this point.
point.
Last point.
Cook
the
too
girl
far.
that she didn't play at like I don't know LSU or USC.
Exactly.
She played at Iowa.
Exactly.
Iowa.
Yeah.
Y'all tripping.
I might have to put that on a soundboard. This part right here, like she played at out, like
She played at Iowa.
Yeah.
Y'all tripping. Caitlin Clark.
Like, man, listen, like she didn't go to none of those big schools. She turned the small school into a big school. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's insane, chap. That is insane. Shout out to David, said people who know very little crush Caitlin Clark for these comments, and she was spot on. Y'all remember back when Caitlin Clark said, "Oh, this is the biggest moment the WNBA ever seen, and we're gonna fight for everything we deserve, but at the same time we need to play basketball." Y'all remember she got crushed for that, right?
High level, and I think the most important thing for myself, thinking about these CBA negotiations, like this is the biggest moment the WNBA has ever seen, and it's not something that can be messed up. And we're gonna fight for everything that we deserve, but at the same time, like we need to play basketball. That's what our fans crave, and that's what all of you crave as well. Is you want the product on the floor. And at the end of the day, that's how you make the money. That's how you're marketed. That's what the fans get excited about. That's what the fans want to show up for. So, it's business and it's a negotiation, and there has to be compromise on both sides. And we're starting to get down to the wire of it, and it's become really important. And obviously, I want to help in any way I can, and I tried to educate myself the best I can. Obviously, I can't speak to every single number. It's pretty complicated, but I think there are different things that we can find ways to say, no, like we certainly deserve that, and we're not going to compromise on that, and then other things that we can probably compromise on. But like I said, like this is the biggest moment in the history of the WNBA, and
This
I don't
is
want
the
that
biggest
to
moment.
stop. Similar, like it's important that we find a way to play this next season, and I think our fans and even everybody that has played in this league that has come before us deserve that as well.
I'm curious just on the earlier just talking to people.
Shout out to CC, man. Shout out to CC. At first she's crazy, and then I'm starting to realize another common denominator. All right, let's see how that continues to age out. Like, yeah, I'm starting to know. At first I'm crazy, and then I'm right. Then you got Paige Beckers months later. Now she gets praised for all of this, right? And nobody's saying anything, crushing her for saying the same exact thing that Caitlin said. Listen to Paige Becker airing out her frustrations with the WNBA CBA negotiations.
At this point, it's not really a negotiation anymore. Like, both sides are moving. So I feel like we need to continue to have these conversations, continue to actually have change.
And what the hell kind of interview is this? Why do I hear so many voices in the background? Is Paige talking? One mic. Like, damn.
Implemented for us to move on our stance. And so we as players, we don't want to strike. We want to have a season. I love playing basketball. That's all I want to do. But again, there's things that need to be handled, and we want to do it as professionals.
Like I said, body language is a real thing. Paige Becker started securing herself when she started going against the grain, right? Look at it right here.
It's not really a
At first, right here, she's over here confident talking about it, right?
negotiation anymore. Like, both sides are moving. So I feel like we need to continue to have these conversations, continue to actually have change.
continue to have change, and now she instantly goes into secure mode, securing her body, secure hiding her lips, etc. Listen, y'all might not pay attention to body language, but that is super important when you're listening to somebody speak. Now she start getting into what she really feels like right here when she starts securing herself. Listen to what she said.
Implemented for us to move on our stance. So we don't want to. We as players, we don't want to strike.
We don't want to strike.
I love playing basketball. That's all I want to do. But
so she said we don't want to have a strike, but I love playing basketball. Pay attention to what she's saying, chat. We don't want to have a strike, but I love basketball and I want to play basketball.
I love playing basketball. That's all I want to do. But
One more time.
We want to have a season. I love playing basketball.
We want to have a season. I love playing basketball.
Well, that's all I want to do.
That's all I want to do.
But again, there's things that need to be handled, and we want to do it as professionals.
Read between the lines, chat. Paige Beckers is done. She's starting to realize, like, wait, y'all was using us. Y'all was using us. Y'all let us authorize the strike because y'all actually might use the strike. Like, no, now we're gonna go to public and put some pressure back on y'all now. We want to have a season. You know, we tired of y'all trying to suppress us in this, that, and the third. So we gonna this is them opening the door. We're starting to witness the players starting to turn on each other slowly. The girls are starting to stand for themselves. And you notice the common denominator in the women standing for themselves are the younger players. Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers. Should I continue? Moving on. Another clown who tried to criticize when Caitlin said they needed to play basketball is now just approving the same statements today. Now that it's coming from other players. So Chris Williamson posted this when Caitlin said we need to play basketball. He posted this picture right here, like a disgusted face, like a worried face, right? Then when Paige Becker says the same exact thing, as you can see on the top of your screen, it says Chris Williams reposted the same exact message. Let's rewind once again. It's never the message, it's who's the messenger. I told you, I said lose-lose with Caitlin Clark. She can say and do everything correctly, but because it's Caitlin Clark, they're going to disapprove of it. But it is what it is. We're not going to give them any more attention. What else we have? Oh, yeah. There was a deadline, March 10th. The CBA has to be signed by, if it's not signed by March 10th, it would delay the season. If the labor deal is agreed by March 10th, the Temple and Fire expansion draft, it will begin between April 1st and the 6th. Free agent negotiation period will start April 7th to 11th. Free agency signing period will be April 12th to 18th. If you remember last year, by January, free agency moves were starting to be made, etc., etc. We're in March and we haven't seen anything happen. Let's move on. Fun fact, Caitlin Clark's presentation at the Indianapolis Marriott Convention Center had more attendance than the entire Unrivaled season. I'm going to say it one more time. Caitlin Clark's presentation at the Indianapolis Marriott Convention Center had more attendance than the entire Unrivaled season. Do you understand? Like, do you hear the words that's coming out my mouth? Like, this is crazy, chat. I don't even know. Like, when they want to talk about... I should have named this episode Common Denominator. Maybe that's what I'll name the next week episode. Common Denominator Clark in the building, chat. What else we missed? Prior to Hillary Knight, the last women's pro athlete to appear on SNL was Caitlin Clark. Shout out to Caitlin Clark. She killed it on there as well. Moving on. What else do we have? I think that's everything. All right, chat. Well, that's everything. I appreciate everybody who was here. Are you streaming Iowa game today? I don't think I'll be streaming Iowa game today. I've actually been slacking on Iowa games. I'm going to keep it real with y'all, chat. I have been slacking on Iowa games. But listen, though. We definitely we're gonna pay attention to something. You know, we're gonna lock in. I know March Madness is around the corner. I think I'll start covering it now, maybe. You know, we'll see. No promises. But however, I appreciate everybody who came through here. Everybody, make sure y'all please hit the like button on y'all way out. I've been forgetting to say hit the like button, so let's make sure y'all hit it today. I love you guys so much. Hopefully we get a CBA signed by the next time we talk. It's March 10th is the deadline, okay? March 10th. We will be back here on March 12th. I think I'll be dropping videos throughout the week, but if not, regardless, March 12th, we'll be back here. Hopefully, well, is it March 12th? No, March 13th. My apologies. 7 days from now. March 13th, we'll be back here. And hopefully we got a CBA done. Hopefully everything is done with. We're looking forward to the season. I can start back diving into NBA history, etc., etc. But we'll see, chat. We'll see. Do you guys think that there's going to be a CBA done by next week? Be real with me, chat. Let me know. But before you get up out of here, let me know. Do you guys think that there's gonna be a deal done by next week? B-Son with the Subaru.
Who the fuck is Sohan? What are you doing?
Do you guys think there's gonna be a CBA deal done by next week? Please let me know. I want to see it. I want to see Steph White and Fever front office pretty much sign players that other teams don't want. No one wants Turner. No one wants Colson, Howard, or Airy. I would disagree with Airy. I think the other ones. Turner showed good signs at the end with her defense. Sydney Colson is a good locker room girl. Natasha Howard, I'm cool with her leaving. But Airy, she definitely. I need Airy McDonald as a backup point guard. I don't know about y'all. I need Airy McDonald as a backup point guard. If you can find something better than that, okay, cool. But if not, Airy needs to be the base. You can't go below that, you know. No deal. The women are too petty. Oh my God. Hopefully not, man. Like I mean, like we know this, but it's like you can only hope that that's not the case. No, it will get extended. I mean, there's no extended. It would literally, like, the season will be delayed. So, if it's not signed by the 10th, Adam Silver gave a deadline. If not signed by then, it is wraps. Area starting PGCC at small forward. I don't want Airy starting. Too small. We need to go up in size. That's what people got mistaken as well. I always wanted to talk about this as well. My apologies before I do an outro. I wanted to talk about Leah Boston as well. Yeah, I actually had some notes Saturday I forgot to go over. Chat, hold on, chat. My apologies for the unprofessionalism. But there's some other things that I want to talk about for one of the CBA, right? One point that I wanted to make was the league offered a massive jump already, right? They reportedly around 70% of net revenue, right? Point number 2 I wanted to make was the players are demanding a share of the gross revenue, which completely changes the economics of everything, right? Another point I wanted to talk about was point number 3. The owners carried the league through decades of losses. Decades of losses. And this is how the players are moving after 2 years of success. It's crazy to think about. Point number 4 I wanted to make is the players union isn't even unified right now. Breanna Stewart, Kelsey Plum over here. The players union is over there. The lawyers are not even involved. Like they're asking to be, I mean, the agents want to be involved. It's too much going on, too much diversity when it's supposed to be more union. But anyways, moving on, point number 5, I also added that a strike right now would be terrible timing because the league has momentum they've never seen before, led by Caitlin Clark, the Caitlin Clark boom to be exact. If a strike happened, I think that will stunt all momentum and likely ruin the WNBA's trajectory forever. And if the players union itself doesn't even know the full financial details yet, like Sophie Cunningham, Kelsey Plum, Breanna Stewart, how can they demand a completely different revenue model? How can Sophie Cunningham go on a podcast and talk about all the things like, oh, they're not even moving on the main thing we want, yet you can't even comprehend how your jersey sales are being split? You can't even comprehend that. But I'm supposed to believe that you understand the construct of the CBA. I refuse to believe that. Like Mick said, I should be very, very concerned right now. Another thing with Aaliyah Boston, if the Indiana Fever front office is listening, something came to my thought. I think I'll provide some film on this soon. I'm really just waiting on the CBA before I start going back into film sessions on how the Fever can improve and what they lacked. But before that, I just want to give a little preface. Aaliyah Boston, I wanted to send a message about Aaliyah Boston to the front office. Please do not have Aaliyah Boston at the center position next year. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, Venom, what are you talking about? Aaliyah's good at the center position. No, I disagree. Aaliyah Boston is good at the center position, but I don't think Aaliyah Boston is fully optimized at the center position because I think she's quite undersized. I think you need to get, at least if you're going to have her at the center position, have a tall power forward or a taller backup center. I think that's the only way you get what you get out of Aaliyah Boston. You fully optimize her, right? Moving on, I said someone as good as Aaliyah Boston shouldn't have to anchor the defense while still being expected to hold up what she holds up on the offensive end. You have Aaliyah Boston with a huge offensive responsibility, and I know Caitlin Clark takes a load off her shoulder, but that does not diminish the fact that she still has to exert a lot of energy on the offensive end. She's constant pick and rolls, pick and pops with Aaliyah Boston. She's shutting flares, double dragged, all types of action she's getting into, and then she's expected to uphold the defensive end. You look in the NBA, the top centers, Jokic, all the other centers, or at least the centers with a similar body frame of Aaliyah Boston, they don't have to move that much on the defensive end. You know, they're in a zone or they're up to touch and they're dropping back down and drop coverage. They don't have to move that much, you know. That's KK. You can say that, but I know that they're not going in the direction of KK right now. And Michaela Timpson is not seasoned enough to be in that position right now. You know, I think KK is fully optimized either as a small forward or off the bench as of right now. I don't think she's gonna be that, that powerful. I think Azurá Stevens is who you could go for. Like those type of players. But that's for another Friday. That's for another deal. Right now, we gotta worry about the CBA. I appreciate everybody who rocked through, who stayed here for an hour plus. You guys are the best. You guys are amazing. And I'll see you guys. Actually, let me see if I have any memberships to give out before we get up out of here, because you guys have been the best. Let me see real quick. Do we have any memberships to give out? Yes, we do. Let's hand out some memberships real quick, chat. Let's hand out 10 of them things. Why not? Why not, chat? Why not hand out 10 of them things? You know what I'm saying? Let's hand out 10 of them things right now, chat. Shout out to everybody who just got a membership. You know what I'm saying? You guys are the best. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. I love you guys so much. We out here. Peace out.